Hi, this is Suraj, your host, Unleashing Talent. Welcome to another episode. This time we are going to talk about ethical leadership. This is absolutely important, very, very important for organizational success and for the success of a leader. So, what is ethical leadership? And when I say this, I meant beyond integrity and honesty. So, if the integrity is the issue and honesty is the issue, there is absolutely no compromise and there is no place for such leaders. While we know the fact that unethical leadership and dishonest leaders are in practice, we are not. But not everyone is like that. So it is required more now than ever before in this changing world. And I think if I take a step out of the corporate world, I think we as a nation need ethical leaders, and that is how our nation can flourish. And same is the situation with the family, with the organization. We need ethical leaders who can build sustainable business, sustainable culture, and a very value-based organization where everyone feels valued. So also I want you to look at the cost of not being ethical in leadership practices. What happens if you have unethical leaders in the organization and the cost could be devastating. It could impact the overall organizational culture, impacting the organizational growth, and impacting the organizational revenue and the culture and whatnot. Another important element I want to highlight based on my experience and my discussion with senior leaders over the last 20 years is the intent and the motive are the two key elements. And all of this starts from the motive, from the intent. What is it that you as a leader think, you as a leader feel, you as a leader intend, you as a leader have the game plan, and the core of you is what? Is that the ethical, is the center point, the core of you? That is very, very important, because if the motive is not correct, if the intentions are not correct, then the practices may be impacted and it might show on the behaviors. I would also like to talk a little bit about bias traps. I would, if I may say that, in its leadership trap, I would say. So it could be the diversity, the way you look at that as a leader, the experiences that you give to the people in an organization, and it could be the leader feeling insecurity, and because of that might get into unethical leadership practices. It could also be under pressure, or maybe because of the habits or something that the individual does in the past and becomes smarter to do the wrong thing again. It could be a value conflict, it could be the integrity issues, or maybe unknowingly spreading the wrong messages, and maybe the favoritism. That is something people talk a lot at the time of performance review in every organization, that the promotions did not happen because of, for some people, because of the favoritism. So maybe the leader is not at the fault, but this is how people perceive. So the thing that we have to understand, it is not that you are being ethical and you are being questioned. It is about how and what actions you take for people to get that confidence in you and the system and the process, and so on and so forth. It could be also ignoring people, it could be avoiding people, it could be looking down upon people, and it's not the way you perceive it, is the way the people perceive it. Is you might get into a trade-offs, or maybe overlooking some of the unethical practices in the organization as leader. That is also not acceptable. Remember, one day you will be caught, today or tomorrow, and I have seen many people being asked to leave because of the unethical leadership practices, and that happens in every organization. So that's not the area for leaders to get in. Leaders have the responsibility towards the organization and towards themselves. And so the core ethical values around ethical leadership is very, very important for us to understand. The being a role model, it is something about inspiring others. It is something about creating that conducive culture for people, and it is about building trust in the organization. It is about taking responsibility as a leader, being accountable as a leader, and maintaining and kind of impressionistic disciplines. That means you are leaving impression on others, and others are learning through your behaviors and the way you carry yourself. So some of these characteristics of ethical leadership are something that you might like to consider, inculcate, or behavior practice, or maybe if you're do it more and more. So lead by example, be the role model, respect, trust, do justice, inspire people, spread positive emotions, and you foster open communications, and you practice participative leadership, and you take responsibilities for the team failures. And those are some of the things that I could think of. You could read books and watch some YouTube videos to gather more information. So what I'm going to tell you now is, do not just feel that you are doing an ethical leadership and it's over. No. What I'm trying to tell you is that build the ethical leadership as a value within the organization. It's not about just integrity and honesty part of it. It is about building that culture. So what are some of the benefits of developing ethical organization or ethical leadership? The number one, I think, is the cohesiveness of the team, the trust. That's the key and the center point. It builds organizational culture that is sustainable, organization that sustains in all ups and downs. It engages employees more than ever before, and it reduces attrition because people don't want to leave the organization because the organization has ethical practices, so people can trust organization for justice and confidence in the organizational values and beliefs. That's very, very important. So that develops within the employees. Then you have happy customers because the customers also watch you. They know what kind of practices you have, and many times they come and visit you for audits and they talk to the employees, and many of your employees work with your customers. So customers have great appreciation and respect for what you do, and people also feel they are part of the decision-making process. More importantly, this will give you a great self-satisfaction. It will give you motivation and others too, and also it helps you build the sense of belongingness amongst people. Last but not the least, you have the responsibility to align people to the organizational values, vision, and mission as a leader, and you foster ethical leadership, in the next generation leadership, next level of leadership. So these were some of the thoughts I thought I would share with you. Hopefully this small talk was helpful, and thanks a lot for your time. Truly appreciate. Thank you, and see you again on some other podcast.